I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that this was going to happen. All it was going to take was one spark, one little spark to start this fire. Now, that doesn't make me some kind of fortune teller. It doesn't mean I possess this unique ability to read the future. When you are entrenched into the mainstream media as much as I am, when you have taken classes at Woke U, you've covertly attended services at Woke United Methodist, you become more familiar with how these people think, how they operate. If you want to attract rats, all you need is a little bit of cheese. And my God, the media is eating all the cheese right now. They cannot let this Kyler Murray story go. They can't let it go. We haven't even reached the fucking preseason yet. We're not even a week into training camp. The mainstream media, they couldn't let players put on their pads before they started pushing the same tired narrative that we have been hearing for years. The NFL is racist. The media is crucifying the Arizona Cardinals right now for including a clause in Kyler Murray's contract that he is required to study film outside the team facility for a minimum of 4 hours every week. Now, the Cardinals, they have violated the golden rule here on the channel. You never give in to the demands of woke shit fucks. If you have caused woke boners to become flaccid, you're doing something right. If you've caused the woke circle jerks on Twitter to be canceled, you're doing something right. The Cardinals, they folded to the pressure. As you guys know, when you are convicted of violating one of the woke commandments, you're required to perform an act of contrition. Now, I'm not sure if the Arizona Cardinals assumed the position of fellatio or they prep for cucumber insertion. Either way, they got fucked and they fucked themselves in the process. Because it's never enough. It's never enough. Removing the homework clause from Kyler Murray's contract wasn't enough. The mainstream media, with an assist from Warren Moon, they continue to run with the narrative that the NFL is racist. Over the weekend, Warren Moon was interviewed by TMZ Sports. TMZ Sports. TMZ Sports. I don't know about you guys, but when I am looking for news in the NFL, TMZ Sports is always my go-to source. I would play the video of the interview for you guys, but TMZ, they will hit me with a copyright strike, take away all my money. The clip, though, it really doesn't matter because all Warren Moon pushed was the same shit sandwich that we have been fed by the media for years. This was a slap in the face to black quarterbacks. Disrespectful. Laziness is something we were accused of back in the day. Coaches saying that we didn't study enough. We didn't have the mental capacity to play quarterback. Oh, the mythical racism. It stings me to this day. Please grab my hand lotion. I need to release some steam. And just like that, a Hall of Fame quarterback, a legendary quarterback, takes a giant dump on his legacy. Now, it's not WNBA level dump, don't get me wrong, but Warren Moon, someone who broke barriers for black quarterbacks. This fucking guy should be praising the NFL for how far the league has come. Just because something might have been true 40 years ago, it doesn't make it true today. Was there a time when NFL teams and coaches viewed black quarterbacks differently? Sure. Is the notion the same in 2022? No. NFL teams, they could give a fuck less about the race of their quarterback. All they care about, can you help us win? Let me ask you something. If this same clause was included in Mitchell Trubisky's contract, would the mainstream media claim mythical racism? Mitchell Trubisky struggled in Chicago. Matter of fact, he was a fucking disaster. Before bringing him to Pittsburgh, if Mike Tomlin had included a clause in his contract that required Mitchell Trubisky to study film outside the team facility for 4 hours every week, would it give the media a chub? If anyone should be fighting against the notion that the NFL is racist, it should be Warren Moon. When he broke into the league back in the mid-'80s, there hadn't been a black starting quarterback in the NFL for 5 years. Today, of the top 5 highest paid players in the league, 3 are black quarterbacks. 50% of the top 10 highest paid players, black quarterbacks. Seems like the NFL's racially diverse to me, but what the hell do I know? The mainstream media, they are not doing Kyler Murray any favors by turning him into this ultimate victim. With the Arizona Cardinals taking the cucumber and removing this clause from his contract, it puts all the pressure back on Kyler Murray to perform. Every time the offense looks discombobulated, every time they struggle offensively, what is going to be the first thing that people ask? I wonder if Kyler Murray wasn't prepared. I wonder if he's putting in the time to work to study film. There are a couple of things that are being lost in this story. The mainstream media, they're only focused on the woke boner word mythical racism. One of the things being lost in this story, Kyler Murray agreed to this clause. He signed the fucking contract. No one forced him to agree to this deal. If he had a problem with it, he could have asked the Cardinals to remove the clause from his contract. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But Arizona, they didn't include this clause for no reason. There was a reason. And it had nothing to do with race. Cliff Kingsbury, he's around Kyler Murray every day. Obviously, he didn't feel like Kyler Murray was putting in the work. He didn't feel like he was giving enough effort. Before they committed hundreds of millions of dollars to him, they wanted to be sure they were going to get a return on their investment. If Kyler Murray had had any leverage in this argument, do you think he would have agreed to this clause? He agreed to it because he didn't have any leverage. If I had to guess, he knew his coaching staff, he knew management had a point. He tried to defend himself last week. He got a little bit pissy at a press conference. People are calling my work ethic into question. It's disrespectful. He claimed that he couldn't have made it to this point in his career without working hard, which, by the way, is complete bullshit. Number one, what point in your career are we talking about? You haven't accomplished anything at this league yet. You have one playoff appearance in 3 years. Last 2 years, you've completely collapsed in the second half of the season. I told you guys last week, there are certain quarterbacks who enter the NFL and take the league by surprise. Michael Vick did it. Colin Kaepernick did it to an extent. Kyler Murray did it. But you can only create the illusion for so long. If you're not putting in the work, you'll eventually be exposed. And the truth is, Kyler Murray has been exposed in the second half of the last 2 seasons. The mainstream media is too busy getting pounded by the mythical racism cucumber to notice the biggest thing that's being overlooked in this story. Now, of course, the media, they would never admit this publicly. It doesn't fit their narrative. The biggest thing being overlooked in this situation between Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray does not deserve this contract. He is yet to prove that he's a franchise quarterback. I mentioned Mitchell Trubisky a second ago. Mike Florio, Stephen A. Smith, they are supposedly NFL experts. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and throw Mina Kimes into the mix as well. If I put all 3 of these shit fucks in a room and force them to quit giving each other woke hugs and focus, if I put them in a room and gave them 2 sets of stats without including the players' names, one set is the stats for Mitchell Trubisky, the other is Kyler Murray. These 3 shit fucks, disguised as NFL experts, they would not be able to identify which goes with which quarterback. On paper, Mitchell Trubisky and Kyler Murray, they almost mirror each other statistically, at least in terms of passing. I'm not comparing them rushing. Mitchell Trubisky actually has a better record, a winning record. Kyler Murray is sub 500. Although, according to Mina Kimes, wins are not a quarterback stat. What a stupid fuck Mina Kimes is. That is like saying wins and losses aren't a stat for pitchers in Major League Baseball. Bottom line is, though, Kyler Murray hadn't earned this contract. And that's not a slight against him. It's just the truth. He hadn't earned it. Obviously, the Cardinals have some reservations about him. Maybe they even feel the same way. Otherwise, they wouldn't have included this clause to begin with. We wouldn't be talking about it. You know, I've never understood this fascination, this drive in the mainstream media to bring down the NFL, tarnish the reputation of the NFL. The NFL receives more negative press coverage than all other leagues combined. The media, they do nothing but praise dumps like the WNBA and the NWSL. They cover up the bullshit in the NBA. When is the last time? When is the last time you have heard anyone in the mainstream media say something negative about the NBA? They do the complete opposite. They cover up the fact that Adam Silver and LeBron James tag team Xi Jinping in China. When the NBA was setting record low ratings in the playoffs a couple of years ago, the media pushed excuse after excuse as to why no one gave a fuck about this league. They covered for Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball last year when they moved the All-Star game. Hell, the entire month of June, the media did nothing but praise Major League Baseball for their acceptance of the gay. Ooh, I love this league. Isn't it great to see Tran Dan perform during the 7th inning stretch? I love watching Tran Dan shake his ass. But when it comes to the NFL, it's nothing but negative press coverage. 10 years ago, they crucified the league over concussions. Once they beat that woke horse to death, they put Roger Goodell back on the cross over Colin Kaepernick. How dare they kick him out for kneeling during the national anthem? It is woke tradition to get on your knees anytime you see another man. Once Colin Kaepernick disappeared into the dungeon at Woke United Methodist, never to be seen again, they can't put him in front of a microphone. Colin Kaepernick's like Joe Biden, can't complete a complete sentence. Once they moved him into the dungeon, they started claiming mythical racism because the NFL doesn't have enough black head coaches. And now we're going back 20, 30 years and claiming the league is biased against black quarterbacks. The media always creates some mythical narrative trying to bring down the NFL. Doesn't make any sense to me. This is how most of these shitfucks make their living. If the NFL declines in popularity, Mina Kimes is working at a hot dog stand dressing woke weenies. Max Kellerman would be turning tricks at Gay Gayerson's Club of Woke Love. Stephen A. Smith would have to go back to kissing NBA players' ass, a league that fewer and fewer people care about. The question is, why? Why is the media seemingly on a mission to tarnish the reputation of the NFL in the eyes of the American public? I don't know. The only reason I can think of is the NFL is something that we enjoy. These people love to spread their misery. They love to shit on anything that most Americans enjoy. Christmas, can't celebrate that anymore. It's now woke Christmas. Easter, that holiday is dedicated to Megan Rapinoe, our favorite Easter egg. Thanksgiving, that holiday is racist. Evil white man stole land from the Indians. Oh, I mean the Guardians. Anything the vast majority of Americans enjoy, the mainstream media takes a big woke dump on it. If you want to take a dump on something, dump on the WNBA. That's what the dump is for. A safe space to store human waste. Leave the NFL the fuck alone. Well, let me know what you think. Warren Moon takes a ride on the mythical racism train. Why do you think the mainstream media has a woke boner for the NFL? Give me your reason. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.